Hello, my friends. John LaRuffa here with another Straight Up Solo. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at Hamlet. We're going to look at the solo rule, or solo mode, pardon me. I'll show you how it plays. I'll play a few turns, and then I'll give you my thoughts and help you figure out whether this is something you want to do or something you want to avoid. All right, let's get started. Okay, folks, and as usual, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. And if you have, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So this is kind of an interesting, unique game. What you've got going on in this game is a lot of like supply chains of moving goods from one spot to another to build stuff. You've got production, where you produce the goods to get a little reward, which is usually money. You've got refinement, where you use some of these basic raw materials and you refine them into better things that will get you rewards once you actually complete them. And you've got some delivery, where you're trying to meet some orders here, whether it's smaller orders in the market, and these orders give you some small points and some money, or the bigger orders here for larger points to build the church, and those give you a lot of points, and also that's kind of how you end the game. When you build all stages of the church, everybody gets an equal number of turns and the game's over. I'll say the gimmick, but it's not really a gimmick. It's not bad. I think it's actually pretty good. The weird geometries are part of the gimmick of this game, okay, where whatever is available in blueprints comes out of a bag based on kind of what's been added. So at the very beginning, there's only the basic buildings in there, and as soon as you build the first refinery building, you throw the whole stack of refinery buildings into here, or if you have the deluxe or the original one, they come with these little chits, which I prefer because you really can't feel the difference when you're drawing them out, and you add them to the area over there. When you're playing with the solo, you have this little mechanism right here that dictates what the solo is going to do. And the solo mode is not bad to run. It's fairly simple and straightforward, but you do need to know how, you have a good feel about how the game's going to work, I guess, to not be too bogged down on it, because there are some priorities and different things in here, which makes sense if you just think about it like this is what the solo bot would do in these situations and follow them, but don't kind of kill yourself over trying to do it, because I'm not sure how much of an impact some of it does. So for instance, every time it's the solo player's turn, they're going to try to take this action first, then this one, then this one. And if it can't take this one right here, it adds a coin to this spot, basically increasing the amount of money it gets slowly until it can buy another guy. When it buys a villager, that'll effectively give it an extra move every turn subsequently from that, or following that. It's going to try to make those deliveries. So if there's the conditions on the board, it's going to try to make the deliveries to the actual church to score points and speed up the end of the game. And if there's ever an opportunity to do the market delivery, it's going to try to do that right away. And if it doesn't do that, it relies on kind of like a draw cup to take some of these non-priority actions. And if you can't do the one you draw, you just go to the right and keep trying to find one that works. And as soon as you do, you slide out of the queue, push it in the back, and there it goes. Pretty self-explanatory and actually pretty easy to do, given that this game can look a little convoluted. So let me give you a couple of examples of some turns just so you get the feel of it, and then we can kind of go forward from there. So it is my turn right now, and I have the blueprints for a pond. I've gained this ability that when I refine carpentry materials, it'll actually go to high quality materials, which will give me double the reward over here. And I got $2. That's what I've got going on for myself right now. I also have 3 guys, so I'll have 3 turns to work with. And the way that this works is in the very beginning of your turn, you can move or reposition your donkeys in any one spot as long as they can follow a road. The donkeys are kind of like your supply chain, which allows you to take goods from an adjacent tile through the donkeys and then out to another adjacent tile. So right now with my network here, I've got 2 different donkeys. This one is basically saying if I use something from here or here, these landmark tiles don't ever have anything on them. And that's what the little flag is. But I can get to this one, this one, this one, here, 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 and there. So pretty much everything up there, plus over to here with the donkeys I've got. But as the board expands, you need to probably buy more donkeys to get things a little bit more connected. And these workers can walk anywhere they want. Basically, they just need to get to a tile to take the action. All right, so what am I going to do? Well, I've got a couple of choices. I can either work to make raw materials. I can refine those raw materials, but both of these are full, so I can't do that. Or I could build, or I can deliver, or do a market action, or take an action over here in the town hall. So one of the things I need to do in order to score some points at the end of the game is connect my pond, which I forgot to put this out there, but this was my pond. I built it earlier. And I can basically connect this for points if I want to actually get those points at the end of the game, which is 3. So in order to do that, I basically have to get a road that connects this stone side with the stone side. You look over here and you see, okay, mountain to mountain, that is a wooden road. There's 2 wood out here. These are all communal goods, by the way. So I need to be able to get this wood right here over to this spot over here to build a road. Well, I can, remember, because my donkey's in this center tile. So he can grab these 2 wood right here, bring them over here, and then I can use it to build my wood or my road right there. And it's that simple. I've done my turn with this guy. We lay him down. Now the road puts this into the network, but it also is going to let me score points at the end of the game, which is why I did it. Next thing I should do, well, there are kind of a mismatch of different things out here. I would like to get my hands on some more refinery tiles, but I can't because he has claimed those, and so he's kind of sitting on the stonemason and the flour mill, so we're kind of stuck in trying to get those out. And so what I might want to do instead, I might just build up some money, because one of the things I could do is get $10 to make this delivery, and it's worth 6 points. Until I get some of these out here. The reason I say that is because it just so happens, with the luck of the draw, that the combination of refined goods here and here are opposite from what we have on the board. I need, in order to deliver here, I need that refined milk and and some refined brick, and I don't have brick out here. And I would, over here, I need the refined lumber, which I do have, but I need the refined grain, which I don't have. Both those are here. So instead of all that, why don't I go work in the fields? So I'm going to take this guy, I'm going to move him to the quarry, I'm going to lay him down, and then the quarry is going to make 2 of these. Doesn't matter how much they make, they just fill it up and I get 2 coins for that reward. So now I have 4. And I'm going to move this guy over here, do the same thing with the lumber mill, and now I have 6. Again, these are communal goods. You can't claim them for yourself, okay? So they're just out here doing their thing, all right? So that is that. Now the other thing that's kind of frustrating too is I have the same problem over here in the market where we're kind of locked. It's just the combinations didn't go so well for me. So anyway, my turn's done. I'm going to go ahead and stand these guys up. And now it's time for the AI. So does the AI have 5 coins? No, they do not. So that means that they're going to add a coin to this spot right here. Can they make a delivery? Well, I just told you that we were short on things here. However, what the AI can do is they can purchase one of these. They get a little bit of a discount on their deliveries over here, right? So instead of the full amount, they can pay a little bit less. So they actually can make a delivery, and they're going to use their refined good to do it. So they can purchase one of these, pardon me. They can't do what I was just about to tell you. They never purchase things from the market. If that was me, I could do it, but they never do. So they can't do the delivery like I was just going through. And then they can't make a market change because of that. Like I said, there's no contract out there. So we draw randomly one of these, and it's a red. And it says, okay, refined goods. Well, I can't refine goods. There's nothing to refine. Build a bridge. Build a road. Well, I can build a road if there was one available, but considering this one's over here, it says no road required. So I'm going to guess that it just says doesn't make sense to build a road there. It's not going to do that. Now it's going to go and try to work. Well, I've worked all the spaces, so it can't do that. So it's finally going to build, and that's good. It's going to try to build its oldest building here, which in this case is going to be the flour mill, because it's had this one for the longest. Now to build a flour mill, it needs 2 stone and 1 wood. They don't use donkeys at all. They just take out of the supply as long as it's in the network. So here's 1 wood, here's 2 stone, and then it's going to build the building. And in general, it's trying to hook up the building, if it can, via the roads right here to something else that has a road. So it's going to probably do this or this. It'll also try to get as close as possible to the church if it can. And it tries not to use my road, but I don't think it's going to have a choice here because it's going to prefer to hook up the road first, as far as I know. So it's going to go right here and put that right there. So now it has the flour mill, and because it was the first one to do that, all of its goods will be refined, and he'll get double the reward. So, like I just said, that was what we did when we built the building. And we have to lay one of his workers down just to show that we built it. So we built it, we can lay him down over here. All right. Now he goes to the next turn. What's he going to do? He's going to draw this one. And now it says refined goods. Well, he can refine. So he's going to take one of these wheat and refine it into a refined food. And it's going to be put on the white side because he is a specialty guy when it comes to this. So he's refined that food. Nothing happens. He doesn't get, oh, I forgot. He does get the rewards here. He gets 4 points for building that. So we're going to give him 4 points. Nothing happens here until this gets used. So he doesn't get to do anything with that. Put that guy over there. All right, final turn. Now, since these are empty, what would happen is I would put these back in. And I believe that happens only at the end of his turn. In fact, I'm almost sure it happens only at the end of his turn. Yeah, when it finishes his actions. So we're not done yet. I guess if it tried to draw, it would need one. But because it's going to go through these priority actions and not try to draw, well, that's probably a fringe case. So it says whenever it finishes an action, if the action cup is empty. So I guess we are going to do that. We're going to put all these back in because the action cup is empty. And when we took that refine action, this is going to slide to the back, and all these are going to slide forward. So it goes to see if it can, it has one more guy to use. It doesn't have 5 coins yet, but it can deliver to the church. And it's going to deliver its refined grain and my refined lumber. So it is going to put one of its tokens here. It's going to score 4 points plus the points over here. So this, it never gets coins this game. It only gets victory points when it gets a coin. So that's 4 plus 2 plus 2 more because it's doubled. So it's going to get 10 points off that. No, it's going to be 8 points off that. Pardon me. 4 plus 4. So it's going to go to 34 here. And we're going to remove this refined good. And it did use mine. So I'm going to get 2 points and 2 coin to do that. Okay, so this church and effectively the game is halfway over. All right. Now, I'll say one thing about this. This is obnoxious. I don't know why they did this. If I start putting these things out, I can't see what the heck I'm doing around here. So these 3D tiles are a big flop. I know they might have looked nice and it might have sounded good and it probably helped them sell the game. They also don't stay together that well, even with the glue that you put on there and everything else. I just don't really like them. So I'm never going to be using them in my game. Now, if I felt so inclined, they do give you some other tiles you can put down that aren't 3D that show the progress of the building. But all that is really superfluous because you are delivering to these things. So it's okay, but I would say that it is, well, it should have been a wood tower, if anything. But I've never been a huge fan of things that block parts of the board. All right, and there are some other games I have that have big things like that, and it's hard to see, and then it just distracts me. So I don't like them. Maybe you do. That's okay. I'm not trying to say they're not. They almost look pretty. It's just that they kind of fall apart even while after you've assembled them. Anyway, okay, so they have then delivered. Their turn is over. We stand them all back up. All right. Now, also I should mention, when you try to fill this, you don't fill it 1 coin per action. You only fill it 1 coin per turn. So that's why I didn't keep adding coins to it every time. Otherwise, you would get coins way too fast and it would be ridiculous. Okay, so that's a good representation of what the game kind of feels like. The only thing I didn't really describe is going to the town hall. So I guess I could take my first turn and do that just for good measure. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 coins. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to actually buy a donkey. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the town hall and choose a building just to demonstrate what we're going to deal with here. And let's do this one because I benefit from some of the bonuses here. So I'm going to set this aside. This is now my building to build. And when I took that one, because it costs 1, I have to put a coin on there. Then I slide it down. Then I reach into here. Remember when he built the first grain refinements? I should have added these to the bag because now these tiles can come out. And I got the cow conservatory. So the cow conservatory is now going to be available for a blueprint to build. I also want to spend 3 coins on another donkey. I'm going to put the donkey over here in this spot because that is going to help me get access to this and just extend my supply chain. All right, so that guy is done. Now, the next turn I'll take is I want to refine some goods. So I'm going to come up here. I'll take this guy, move him here, refine goods. So I'll take 1 wood and I'll make a refined high quality lumber. Now, the other thing I could have done, and this is probably what I should have done, instead of doing that, let's back up. Let's do this. Instead of refining on this building over here, I'm going to refine on this building over here. And I need the wheat. I've got it. So I'm going to lay him down. This won't be high quality. It's just going to be regular quality. But I have the milk there. And why am I doing that? Because on my third action with this guy, I can come and I can fulfill one of these orders. I can do the milk and the grain to get 3 points, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So 1, 2, 3. So I get those 3 points. And I've made a delivery. Set that aside in case any of my bonus buildings or anything, the landmarks would help me with that. And then he will get 4 points. And I will get 1 point and 1 coin. So you can kind of see there's a lot of variety in the things you can do. There's this nice production chain. There's some supply and demand. There's some all that stuff, which I like. It is definitely, as you can also tell, a bit fiddly. There's no doubt about it. These things don't fit together very well, and when they warp, which they do, they kind of slide, they knock the board, and there's a couple of things like that going on. Hopefully that some of that will, break out with age, and some of the saucering will kind of settle down. But you are moving little things around this board in little fiddly ways. There's no way of getting around that. So you saw another turn from me. Just for more demonstration, I guess I'll give you another turn from him. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4. He does not have the 5 he needs, so he's going to get the delivery for another one right there. Can he make a delivery out here? No, he cannot. What now it needs is it needs 1 of those milk and 1 of the refined bricks, or 10 coins. His 10 coins is actually 7, but he can't make that. Can he do anything in the market? Well, no, he can't, because all those require bricks. So he's going to pull 1 from our bin. He's going to build a road. Well, the roads don't help. Everything is connected, so we know we skipped that. He's going to then produce. So what he's going to produce? He's going to produce the tile that has the fewest things on it. Well, they're all 3 similar. I'm sorry, this one has 2, that one has 1, that one has 1. So I'm just going to have him produce this. I try not to think too much about what he's going to produce. I just go with like whatever I see. There's some rules there, but I don't think it really changes much. And he gets 2 points for that. Next guy, oh, lo and behold, he can buy a guy. So he's going to spend all 5. And when he spends all 5, he flips this over so he does not gain any more money until we reset everything. And he buys his last guy and it sits right there. So this first one I worked. The second one he bought. You can't use the guy the first round. You buy him. Last thing he's going to do, he is going to Oh, and we worked. So this goes down. Now he's going to reserve a tile. Well, he wants to reserve a refinery tile if he can. There is one out here. He can get this one. This is a refinery tile. So if he couldn't get that, then he would go to one of these landmarks. If he couldn't get that, then he would go to a barn. Because he doesn't spend any coins, you see the 3 go right there. Then we draw another one out of the bag. And it happens to be the windmill. So we find the windmill and put the windmill up here. He's done his turns because he did that with this guy. Doesn't really matter where you put him because it doesn't really matter. You could tell these guys kind of free flow around. You could have probably not even had them on the board. You could probably just set them over here and flip them around and do things like that if you find the board too cluttered. But either way, that is what his turn's going to do. He's done. He's done what he's going to do, and then it would come back to me. All right, so you get a good feel, I think, about what this game offers. Again, the game's going to end when we finish constructing this church, and then we make sure we have an equal number of turns. So basically, if he finishes constructing it, the game will end. If I finish constructing it, he'll take one more turn because he started as the first player. All right, let me tell you what I think about it. So that's Hamlet solo. I'll tell you, I'm a sucker for the pick up and deliver and the little market chains and such. I like that. In this game, it sort of almost makes me think about a little bit of a brass itch in regards to the fact that you're producing some stuff, and if someone else uses it or you use it, it helps you score. There's some communal goods on the board. You get actual money for working and producing stuff that drives a little bit of an economy because, yeah, you need it for the money, but someone can use it for their stuff. I really like that. I think that's enjoyable. And I like how really the solo bot, Bodrick, basically follows almost all the rules that you do with the exception of a couple of discounts. And so what that means is that he's driving the economy also. He's building the board also. He's moving things around and moving the game forward also in a way that is very organic to the design, which I think is really cool. And I think that Nick Shaw and David Turtzi did a fantastic job with using their classic designs, which we've seen over and over, which are great, kind of the action selection and the prioritization, but they did so in a way that still drives the game forward with what feels like a natural opponent. You are definitely playing against the bot, and the bot is definitely competitive. There are ways to increase or decrease the game with regards to, making it harder, making it easier. That's fantastic. I like that. The game is super duper fiddly. If you don't like fiddly games, you're not going to like this game. I mean, I don't find it off-putting because I don't mind fiddly games. Shoot, I have Roads and Boats, which could possibly be one of the most fiddly games that I've ever played. But there, that's in here. That's in here. And if the board, growing the board and where you put the tiles in the different geometries, I think appears to be cooler than it may actually feel, but I don't mind it. It's better than just having the hexes that go next to each other. It adds just a smidge more of placement and of where can I get this to fit and how do I want to put together. The fact that the roads can't just dead end into the wrong type of tiles, and that the way that the roads you build kind of go into it, I think is cool. So it's more aesthetically pleasing, I think, than anything, but it adds just enough to make it worth the weird geometries and such. I don't think, again, that this is going to be like, that is the coolest thing. To me, the coolest thing about this game is the little production and refinement chains that you see. I like that a lot. And so I enjoy this game. I think it's really cool that they did a good bot job with this that moves the game forward and doesn't just deny you tiles or deny you this or deny you that. It's actually playing a game, and that's pleasant as well. So that's what I think about it. I'm interested to see what you guys think. It is definitely a game where you have to like those little production chains, and you like a lot of the Euro mechanics. I think it's maybe getting a little bit more bad press than I think is. I don't know. I've seen some people saying it's kind of mediocre. I don't think it's mediocre. I think it's actually pretty fun. I'm not sure. I don't know. Now, I will say this. If you're playing with multiple, like more people than just you, I can see how that could be a little bit tough because you know, with more players, you're going to try to do things, and then it's going to be a long time before it gets around to you. And maybe, you know, people will take all the goods that you keep trying to build up so that you can actually do what you want. And that could be frustrating. You don't have that in the 2-player game. That happens a little bit here and there, but it's not frustrating enough to stop the fun. In the solo game, you know, matches that 2-player game right here real well. So that's what I think about it. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate everybody. And whatever you decide to play in the future, hope you have a fantastic time doing it. Take it easy.